Hey, it's Coach with Tactical Hyve, and as you can see, I'm not on the range today. I do want to talk to you a little bit about grenade launchers. The thumbnail in one of the previous videos that we just did might have confused some people, and basically it was meant as a joke, all right? Back when we first got those things in the armory, somebody attached 2 of them to the Standalone, and we took a picture, and looks kind of funny, right? That's not how you ran them. Nobody ever ran it like that. But the Standalone, is a viable piece of equipment. All right, so my experience with grenade launchers dates back to the late 80s when I first got to SEAL Team 5. And those basically 2 options you had in the armory. You had the M79, which dates back to early Vietnam. And then you had the M203, which you slung under a gun. Full-size M16 is what we had the equipment for. That was the authorized thing. But guys had figured out how to rig it and make it successfully mount it, shall we say, onto the Car 15. So you had a short barrel and a grenade launcher if you need it. And depending on the mission set would dictate what you used. M79s they're a lot of fun to shoot, but they're heavy and they're big. And if you're a designated grenadier, the Army can do that, and that guy just has a 45 and an M79. For us, we had to be kind of a little lighter on our feet and more compact, more capable. So the M203 made sense. Obviously, for CQB and mission sets like that, you ain't bringing it along. But if you needed a grenade, usually the radio men and the corpsmen, they were designated grenadiers for most of the time, and point man and rear security occasionally, depending on what the mission was. Okay, so I was never a primary grenadier, but I shot my fair share. But the guys that were good were really good. They didn't need sights. In fact, one of the best depictions of the use of an M79 in the movies is Apocalypse Now. When they call the Roach and he comes up and you can hear the guy and he's like, deals it. Guy's yelling, he's under some bodies, but oh no, he's close. And he just pops that thing off. It lands, and actually the sound and flash in that scene is very realistic. It was filmed in the Philippines, so they probably actually used a live round, who knows? But guys got that good with them. Most of the guys run around, the sights would snag on things, the quadrant sights and all that. So by shooting a lot of those things, you get this idea of where it was gonna go. Apocalypse Now is an example of something Hollywood got right. Now, some later movies, like Full Metal Jacket, where he shows a guy run around with his grenade launcher, launching rounds through windows at distance, and the explosion looks like a freaking gas bomb. It might look like that if it was there was gas in the room, but that bomb going off, it's a fairly small explosion. It's advertised as a 5-meter kill radius, but I think that's a little optimistic. And then other movies like Terminator 2, when Arnie, shoots that M79 at the T-2000 liquid metal cop, and he's maybe 5-10 yards away. Well, the grenade, the 40-millimeter grenade that we use, its arming distance is between 14 meters and 28 meters. And depending on the vendor, because it depends on how many times it spins on its way out there. So what really would have happened is he just got a grenade stuck in his chest and probably would have executed everybody. So it would have changed the end of the movie. So we'll give him that little bit of license there. So when I changed Coach, the unit I was assigned to, our primary mission was hostage rescue. In that primary mission, not a lot of grenade launchers running around, no need for them. It was always, in a house or, whatever. So you want a nice light gun. You want to be able to maneuver and take those quick, accurate shots. And having an extra couple pounds attached to your rifle didn't make any sense. We still had to keep up with our land warfare capability. So we would have another gun. You'd have 2 guns set up. One was your house gun if you were expecting to be dropped off at the house and, get business done. But if you had to get there, land warfare, then guys would carry other things like, belt-fed machine guns and grenade launchers. During that time, we would have 2 guns. The second gun, had a M203 on it. The main reason is that when you attach that M203 onto your M4, it changed your point of impact. So if you didn't want to go and re-sight in your gun every time you took that thing off, you just went to the armory, drew out a new gun. We could do it there. It was a little different than the regular teams. And that's what you had. So depending on the mission set, that's what you'd roll with. Now, when we started going to war, there was this combination of stuff that went on. So it was a good idea to have that grenade launching capability, but you still had, to be able to clear a house once you got there. Previously, we figured that the guys, the grenadiers and the belt-fed machine gunners were pretty much going to stand security outside while everybody else went in and cleared the building. But when, that was pre-war, and when reality struck, now we got to figure this out. You need everybody in some of those big buildings. You couldn't leave anybody outside. So we started carrying the Standalone. It was a KAC, K-A-C, Knights Armament Corporation, made a standalone appliance, basically, that you would mount your M203 to. Fairly small, had a collapsible buttstock. I didn't like the buttstock, it was too heavy, so we removed that one and put a M4 tube. So we just had a little M4, little lightweight M4 buttstock on there. Still, thing's about this big, and you put it on a bungee, get it on your shoulder. It had a little weapons catch back there, hook that on there, and that was your grenade capability. I'd have a pouch on my battle belt that if it was, if I had a shotgun, it had shotgun shells. If I had the grenade launcher, it had grenades. And if it had neither of those, then I'd fill it up with flashbangs. So there was always that pouch had something to do. I'm not sure who asked Knights Armament Corporation to make this thing, but I know I got mine before we went to Afghanistan, and I ran around with that on ops while we were over there. Given that, when I got to Warcom and we started developing the SCAR and the EGLM, the standalone capability I was very familiar with it, and I put my 2 cents into that program. What came out was, I was just a chief at the time, so I didn't get everything I wanted. Like I said, we went into that in a previous video. EGLM's a good gun, it got too big, too bulky. And now, the guys in BUDS, they get, up until a few years ago, we had M79s and M203s that we would give them the familiarization, FAM is what we call it. And we give them an hour-long class, take them up to the range, then load them up and shoot at targets at about 150, 200 yards away. And the most accurate initially was the M79. You dial that sucker in, you could get it on there, but no one was going to carry it. But they might encounter it, so what the hell? Give them something to launch. The 203s, depending on whether you're, the quadrant sights, there's a lot of more than just a FAM that you need in order to make those work. The EGLMs, we got them for a while, for a couple of years. Guys liked them, they're accurate, good solid hits on those targets out at about 150. But now we've got the 320, the M320, and it's a short little thing. It's yay big, got a retractable stock that's not too obnoxious, got like offset sights. And boy, if you hold it out like a pistol, aim, put whatever marking you want on there, so say 150, aim it just like your pistol and drag that back in till it lands on your chest. And it's got a big double action trigger squeeze that you think, oh my God, this is horrible. But man, after an hour-long class, the kids shoot maybe, half a dozen rounds and they're just peppering the target. So it's a good system that we have now. I'm happy to see what we've got. I'm sure once they get to the teams, there's other things you can attach to them, other sighting systems that might help you out at night. But for the most part, I'm pretty happy with the 40 millimeter grenade launcher that the teams have. And as always, if you like this content, like, subscribe, leave me a comment, and, give me some other ideas. What else do you guys want to hear about?